He could be the next Conor McGregor star.
I want that world title. All laugh all you want and say I'll never be champ. You gang of mushrooms.
Like that kind of a star where the whole
He
world's
has
watching.
that weird personality.
Yes.
Yeah, he has that.
Well, he's very disarming because people, they see, I talked about this in the last pay-per-view. I said it's a very sneaky trick because guys like you look at you, the way you carry yourself, the way you, that's a fighter. Like you look at that guy's a dangerous motherfucker. But when you see Paddy, he's dancing like this, his hair is flopping around like he's in the Beatles. You know, he's like, he seems silly, but then he fucks people up.
The hardest round in the gym, it's just 5 minutes of getting sucked down, beat up, get a little glimpse of hope to get up and end up catching a knee or an elbow. So hardest round in the gym, but so you get better.
Like where I'm like weird timing myself, he's even weirder, it's hard to deal with, but he's the best for a reason. It's only going to make me better, perfect training partner for me.
If this is the start of this camp, fuck me, what's it going to look like towards the end of it? That's the top of my division, you can see what the gap is, you know what I mean? You can see what you've got to get to if you want to be the best in the world. It brings us all.
Justin didn't brush Paddy off, didn't downplay him, didn't laugh him away, and that matters, because legends usually do when they feel safe. But here he understands exactly why this makes sense, why the crowd is buzzing, why this fight feels volatile, and he seems almost excited by the madness. Like he knows the arena is gonna turn feral, and yeah, that's his world, but even monsters bleed when the environment shifts slightly out of their control.
On every day, and we'll have a full team of killers there in a couple of years' time, all up in that rankings.
Back now, I look at how bad I was at MMA. Look at videos of me boxing and doing certain grappling things and think, wow, you were and I was still a world champion cage warrior, so obviously I've evolved tenfold since then, and I know what it's like to lift gold anyway, so I'll be doing it again in the next couple of years. Be the first ever Scouts champion that the UFC's ever had, and obviously be the first UFC world champion next gen's ever had.
If I was fighting you, I wouldn't want to be out here getting my head jabbed off. I'll go single leg, I'll lift your leg up, and then rotate my hips. You're not going to just lie there, you're going to try and get up. I take you back, so I control your wrist. Other arm comes around your head, and I put my chin over it, and then just... It goes tighter? Yeah.
Me, I know you're a busy man. I hope that we speak before or in the lead up, but if we don't, what can fans expect? What are you hoping to show on January 24th?
I'm hoping to come out there. Well, I know I want to come and win the belt, but obviously I want to have an entertaining fight. Don't want to have a boring fight, lads. And I think it's impossible when Justin Gaethje's in the other corner. You know what I mean? You can't not have a good fight when you're fighting Justin Gaethje. So, but I think everyone's going to be shocked, to be honest, because I think I'm going to knock him out. So people won't expect that. People think I'm just going to try and grapple and take him down, when I'm not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to put it on.
Expecting an early knockout, a late knockout, somewhere in the middle?
I don't see him getting past the third, just like Chandler.
And with January coming up and the new Paramount deal, that main event of UFC 324, it's going to be headlined by Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje. Who do you favor in that fight?
Man, I got to go with Gaethje. I feel like he's the one that is more like enjoys like a knockdown drag out more than the other guy. Not that Paddy Pimblett doesn't love to fight. It's just Gaethje loves to like actually get down and throw fist for fist. And he's also got the Division I wrestling to kind of negate some of the biggest skill sets of Paddy. Paddy's like a very dominant grappler when it comes to submissions and being, aggressive with that. I think Gaethje has the tools to keep it where he wants it.
When he talks about the cage door locking, about both of them trying to beat the hell out of each other, there's honesty there, but also something else, something I can't quite name. Like he knows this is a pivot point. Like this isn't just about winning, but about stopping momentum. And here's the thing nobody wants to say yet. Momentum is harder to kill than power, and Paddy has a lot of it, maybe too much.
Take it all in my stride. I knew I'd end up fighting for the belt anyway, so to fight a legend like Gaethje for the interim belt is... I've paid my dues to get to this, lad, so I always knew I'd end up fighting for the title, and I'll win this interim belt, and then I'll beat Ilia up and take the proper belt, defend that, and then I'll go up and fucking win the welterweight belt.
You'll have your first conversation with Justin as a matched opponent, potentially on Friday. What type of build-up are you expecting in this one?
No, I'm not expecting no bad blood, no bitterness or nothing like that. I've met him before, we've shook hands, we've spoke, it's very cordial. I really like Justin Gaethje. Like, he's your favourite fighter's favourite fighter. Everyone likes watching Justin Gaethje fight. He's never in a boring fight. And he's a nice fella every time I've met him. So I think it'll just be like the chat and the build-up. Like, everything's dead nice, but then obviously when that cage door shuts, lads, it's kill or be killed.
We've seen
Experts are split, leaning experience versus timing, pressure versus youth. But listen to how that sounds. Timing beats experience more often than we admit, and momentum doesn't care about resumes. And when analysts start quietly saying someone is aging, been through wars, slowed just a fraction, that's usually right before something brutal makes the conversation permanent. And it scares me how casually people are treating that possibility.
me, I know you're a busy man. I hope that we speak before or in the lead up, but if we don't, what can fans expect? What are you hoping to show on January 24th?
I'm hoping to come out there. Well, I know I want to come and win the belt, but obviously I want to have an entertaining fight. Don't want to have a boring fight, lads. And I think it's impossible when Justin Gaethje's in the other corner. You know what I mean? You can't not have a good fight when you're fighting Justin Gaethje. So, but I think everyone's going to be shocked, to be honest, because I think I'm going to knock him out. So people won't expect that. People think I'm just going to try and grapple and take him down when I'm not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to put it on.
Expecting an early knockout, a late knockout, somewhere in the middle?
I don't see him getting past the third, just like Chandler.
Some are already predicting control, pressure, submissions, an ending before the final bell, and I hate how plausible it all sounds, because once those ideas take root, they don't go away. They infect the narrative, they infect the fighters, and here's the time bomb. Nobody's addressing yet. What if the outcome rewrites the division overnight? What if rankings, futures, matchups all snap out of place in one night, and everyone pretends they saw it coming?
It's been a minute, brother, and I think the last time we saw you, you were talking about fighting Makhachev, right? After the Fiziev fight,
yeah.
Right? That's what we were looking at that point, and a lot of things have shaken up since then.
Yeah, it's the nature of this game. It's always like that. Yeah, I thought Makhachev was calling to fight me at the time, and then he went up. They vacated. They make an interim fight, you know, and I don't get the call. But yeah, I just stayed the course, you know, and I've been really working hard in training and really sticking to my guns when it's come to taking the right matchups. You know, I would have fought anybody. I would have fought Armin. I would have fought Paddy. I would have fought Ilia, as long as it was, you know, for a belt, and that's where we're at. So I'm excited.
So did you tell the UFC at the time that interim fight was ready, like, hey, just call me and I'm there? Like, had you made them aware?
No, I didn't even know that was happening. You know, and then they announced it. So yeah, it was cool. I mean, it kind of sucked because again, the champion was calling to fight me. And then he vacates, and then I don't get the call. So that was tough. But, you know, I was coming off a loss versus Max Holloway. It is what it is, and timing is everything. And this is perfect timing to finish everything off.
So here we are, footage sharp, words calm, tension thick, nothing resolved, everything hanging, and I can't shake this feeling that something isn't being said yet, that someone knows more than they're letting on, that one adjustment, one exchange, one moment is being hidden until it's too late to react. And if you think this situation is settled, if you think you know how this ends, you're already behind, because this thing feels like it's still unfolding, still loading, still about to explode.
What's your opinion on the guy?
I mean, I think people will think it's trash talk, but it's just him being him, me being me, you know. If this isn't an entertainment business, and he's one entertaining motherfucker. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind him adding something to the story so that people want to watch. Either way, people are going to want to watch. I'm the most consistent, most exciting guy, and this guy is on a freaking tear right now. So when that cage door locks, we're going to try to beat the shit out of each other, and I can guarantee every person in the arena will turn into an animal, and that's my goal every time.
This ends with one of them leaving the cage, not just beaten, but erased from the title picture. Legacy cracked, future questioned, and people pretending they always knew it would happen. But rewind, because the terrifying part isn't the finish. It's how quiet it got before it all went wrong. Because Paddy Pimblett right now isn't loud, isn't selling, isn't joking, and that silence should scare the hell out of you more than any trash talk ever could. Because when fighters go quiet like this, something ugly is being built underneath, and nah, this can't be just another fight.
And do you feel like, because I think the odds are in favor of Paddy, like, do you feel like you're gonna play spoiler, or do you feel like, hey, they're looking at this whole thing wrong right now?
Oh, no, I love being the underdog. I think I've been the underdog, so out of the 12 fights, I think I've been an underdog like 8 or 9 times, you know, because I'm always fighting such tough competition. But yeah, absolutely, I'm gonna do the same thing I did with Tony Ferguson and Khabib. I'm gonna fuck this whole thing up, and then I'm gonna fight Ilia.
And I will.
Paddy Pimblett isn't doing much talking right now, and that alone should set off alarms, because every single clip coming out of his camp looks surgical, mean, stripped of ego, like someone who already knows how this story ends, and is just waiting for the clock to catch up. No wasted motion, no smiling, no playing to the camera, just pressure, pace, intent, and that kind of focus doesn't come from hope. It comes from certainty, the dangerous kind, the kind that usually shows up right before careers tilt sideways.
Mixing up the grappling and the striking, staying at range, not being in the pocket with him like a Chandler would be, like a Fiziev would be. I reckon Pimblett's going to beat him. Gaethje coming towards the tail end of his career. I just want to mention now, Arman Tsarukyan is... this is tough for Arman. Okay, he's probably going to have to fight someone else. He said he would be on this card. I don't know if they then called him and he said, no, I can't be on that card, and that's why they've done this. If that's what comes out from this, I guess it could be a bit more understandable, because otherwise it would have been Nunes Harrison to main event, and we just can't have that. We just can't have that. But this is insane. Gaethje versus Pimblett is an absolutely insane fight. I'm looking forward to it. This is a massive, massive matchup. Ton of hype on the line, but I do want to mention Pimblett has floated up to number 5 in the rankings. Magically. Scouse magic, dude. Scouse magic. Don't ask for that on a street corner in Liverpool, by the way, but this is some Scouse magic. Okay? He just levitated his way into an interim title shot, which is insane, but fair enough. As an Englishman, I'm all on board with this.
Watch the footage again and tell me you don't feel it, because the tempo is wrong, the calm is wrong, the way he moves feels like he's already rehearsed something nobody else has seen yet. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. This doesn't look like a man preparing to survive Justin Gaethje. This looks like someone preparing to test how breakable a legend really is. And if you think that thought doesn't keep people up at night, you're lying to yourself.
A lot of dynamic things that can get the better of Gaethje, plus he's going to mix in the takedowns. And Gaethje's getting up there in his career. He's just going through more and more wars, more and more scraps, a ton of time off. Pimblett coming into his prime, has been in shape for a while for this matchup as well. Pimblett, get me on the Chatting Pony pod. I know I'm controversial, but listen, guys, we could... come on, now we could make this a big deal in the build-up here. In person, I'd go in person. But there you go. This is an amazing fight. This is a banger matchup. And I do think Pimblett will win. I think Pimblett will probably sub him as well. I think he'll mix it up. Takedowns, striking, something Fiziev did, but doesn't have the jiu-jitsu to keep a hold of Gaethje with. And Fiziev kept Gaethje down in like an inverted triangle position for like the majority of round 1. I know Gaethje's somewhat decent at scrambling, but it turns out Chandler has no ability to control in any way whatsoever without throwing himself off the top of someone and ending up on bottom, or messing it up completely and using a ton of energy for no success. So I think Pimblett's got that back-taking ability. Pimblett's got that control, that stick to you, that get you in a submission position type jiu-jitsu, that, which is obviously any type of jiu-jitsu. But you know what I mean? He's got that level that I think is going to be able to keep Gaethje down with his back taken for a while in this fight. So I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett here.
It feels like a quiet message sent directly to Gaethje. Not loud, not disrespectful, just cold. And that's what makes it worse, because silence is what fighters use when they believe the work is already done. And there's this sense, this creeping sense, that Paddy isn't chasing the moment, he's arriving at it. Like this was always the destination, like every chaotic step before this was just calibration. And I hate how calm it all looks, because calm before violence is never accidental.
And with January coming up and the new Paramount deal, that main event of UFC 324, it's going to be headlined by Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje. Who do you favor in that fight?
Man, I got to go with Gaethje. I feel like he's the one that is more like enjoys like a knockdown drag out more than the other guy. Not that Paddy Pimblett doesn't love to fight. It's just Gaethje loves to like actually get down and throw fist for fist. And he's also got the Division I wrestling to kind of negate some of the biggest skill sets of Paddy. Paddy's like a very dominant grappler when it comes to submissions and being, you know, aggressive with that. I think Gaethje has the tools to keep it where he wants it, and I think that's going to give him an edge.
This fight doesn't feel random. It feels earned in a way that makes it heavier. Like Paddy sees Justin not as a hurdle, but as confirmation. Confirmation that the path he's been on wasn't hype, wasn't luck, wasn't protection. And when he talks about Justin, there's respect there. Real respect. But listen closely, because there's no hesitation, no doubt, no softness either. And that combination is lethal. Respect without fear, admiration without mercy. That's how wars actually start. And here's where my stomach drops a little, because Paddy isn't framing this as chaos. He's framing it as inevitability. Like once that door shuts, the script disappears, the respect evaporates, and instinct takes over. And fighters who speak like that usually aren't bluffing, they're visualizing. And visualization at this level turns into execution fast, sometimes too fast for the other guy to adjust before something irreversible happens. We've seen him push back hard against the idea that he's just going to wrestle, just going to play it safe, and normally I'd roll my eyes at that kind of talk. But this didn't sound like selling tickets, it sounded like frustration, like he's annoyed people already decided how this ends. And that's dangerous, because fighters with something to prove tend to over-deliver in the most violent ways possible. And there's a weird confidence here that doesn't spike, it hums. He genuinely believes his striking is going to shock people. And I know, everyone says that, but this time it lands different because he isn't asking you to believe him. He's telling you what he's already seen in his head, and when fighters talk like they've already watched the ending, it usually means someone else is about to experience it in real time. And yeah, part of me keeps thinking, nah, this can't be real, but the footage doesn't lie. Justin, on the other side, speaks like a man who understands how fragile timing is, how fast the sport chews you up and moves on. And there's no bitterness there, just scars. And that's terrifying too, because veterans who've lost and come back quieter are often the most dangerous version of themselves. But here's the paranoia creeping in. What if this timing isn't lining up for him? What if it's lining up against him and nobody wants to admit it yet? He stayed locked in, kept training, trusted that the right fight would come, and now it has, but something about the way he talks feels like closure instead of ignition, and I don't like that, because closure sounds like an ending even when nobody says it out loud. And when he acknowledges Paddy as a real threat, a real draw, a real force, it doesn't feel dismissive, it feels accepting. And acceptance is not where you want to be when chaos is about to break loose.